It's Tuesday, December 14th, 2021. Before I start the video today, let me please remind all of you to give this video a thumbs up, share this video, make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Hit that bell notification so that you are alerted with the newest video. But without further ado, let's get into what is happening. Markets today flat. Markets waiting to see what the Fed says tomorrow. Fed expected to announce a dramatic policy shift. That is happening tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be a very, very interesting day. CNBC, the Federal Reserve is expected to take a very big step towards its first rate hike. Now, I know there's people out there saying that this is never going to happen. Fed will not raise rates, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Here's what we know right now. The Fed is expected to announce a more rapid transition away from its easy policies, and it will set the stage for the first interest rate hike in 2022. Comment down below. What do you think, and how do you think markets will react to this tomorrow if the Fed comes out and even hints that there's going to be a rate hike, let alone multiple rate hikes in 2022? What do you think is going to happen to the markets tomorrow? I think it's going to be very, very interesting. It will likely provide a new description of how it views inflation and acknowledge that it no longer views it as transitory. So I don't think any of this is going to be good for the market tomorrow. We shall see. Powell could possibly discuss the shrinking of the Fed's balance sheet and when that could occur and how that is going to occur. So that'll be very, very interesting. 2022 right now, many people predicting that we are going to see 2 to 3 rate hikes, 3 to 4 rate hikes in 2023. So next year, 2022, a minimum of 2 hikes, possibly 3. 2023, 3 to 4 rate hikes. That's what a lot of people, economists, experts are predicting right now. Look, it could be 0. But I honestly do believe that we will see a minimum of 2 rate hikes in 2022. And I think they will be sooner than later. I predict around March, if things continue to go the way that they are, it's likely and very possible we could see a rate hike in January, February. But I think it's going to be around March. But if inflation continues to rage, if it gets any more out of control than it already is, expect it to happen sooner. They're preparing the markets right now that they're going to end bond purchases and raise rates. I don't think markets are going to like what they hear tomorrow. Now, they're not going to flat out come out and say all this, but I believe we're going to get some hints that the tapering is going to get more aggressive. We are going to see rate hikes, and I don't believe that the market is going to like what it's going to hear tomorrow. I really don't, but we will see how it all plays out. We know that the markets are rigged. We know they're manipulated. Look, they could go up tomorrow. Nobody knows. I mean, things are so out of control at this point. But in the real world, if these markets were not so manipulated and rigged, controlled, I think we would see some problems tomorrow, because I don't think the message that Jerome Powell is going to deliver tomorrow is going to be what the markets want to hear. They want to hear that they're going to continue to get the drugs, that this Fed is going to continue to pump these markets with artificial injections, and it's just more drugs for the addict. This is what they want to hear. Anything other than that is not going to be positive for these markets. CNBC, wholesale prices measure rose 9.6% in November from a year ago, the fastest pace on record, faster than the 9.2% expected. Supply chain bottlenecks, it says, surging demand have been primary drivers of inflation, according to the article. No, that is not the primary drivers of the inflation. The primary driver of this inflation is all of the massive money printing, ladies and gentlemen. All of the Stimulus, all the extended unemployment benefits, the $2,000 checks, the $600 a week benefits, the $300 a week benefits, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This is the massive money printing. This is what it has caused. This is the consequence when you print money out of thin air and put digits on a screen, when you shut everything down, keep people home, and pay them more money than they were earning at work, and literally competing against employers and paying people more to stay at home. This is what you get. There are consequences. There are no such things as free lunches. Look, they have spent, since this crisis, I think over $6 trillion dealing with this mess. And all this money that they've injected into the economy and whatnot has caused a giant disaster now. And now they have a real monster on their hands, and it's called inflation. Remember when they were telling you inflation is good, we need inflation? Well, look how good it is. You're paying $5 for a gallon of gas. You're paying twice as much for a steak. Food prices soaring, energy prices soaring, everything on the shelves skyrocketing. Rent, medical care, housing, everything is going up. So I guess it's good. Inflation's good. Remember they were telling us inflation's good. We need inflation. Well, inflation now is absolutely decimating millions of people. It's decimating the middle class. It's hurting the poor more than anybody. But here's a newsflash. More inflation is coming. When you print 20% of all the cash in America in just the last 12 months, this is what you get. This is what you get with money printing, quantitative easing, stimulus, benefits. This is what you get. Now we have a Frankenstein on our hands, and it's not going away. In fact, this thing is getting more out of control, and they are running out of options. And they wait too long to raise these rates, and they don't raise these rates aggressively enough, we're going to have big, big problems. Again, all this money printing, ladies and gentlemen, has created this mess. It's not bottlenecks. It's not shortages. It is money printing. And now they're going to raise the debt ceiling so they can print even more money. And we can have more inflation. Think about that. Article today on CNN. Germany teetering on brink of recession. This thing is global. We have a global disaster on our hands because literally every country is printing money out of thin air. And this inflation now and global debt is rampant. It is running out of control. We look at China, the big problem with Evergrande, Fantasia, and a multitude of other massive development companies where we have retail investors and banks and pensions and hedge funds invested in these development companies over there. Nobody talking about it, everybody ignoring it. This could be a very, very big problem in the very near future. See, what I think is going to happen is all this stuff is going to begin to just unravel in 2022. We're going to see more inflation. We're going to see huge trouble with these development companies in China and the investors here in America who are not going to get paid back. Big, big problem. And what kind of effect does this have on our housing market? The inflation is going to have a huge effect on the housing market. Prices to just live day to day, the essentials, is going to have an effect. And I just cannot believe, I'm so sick of this, the housing boom, the housing bubble. It's such a joke. You cannot believe any of the numbers now, ladies and gentlemen. When you have a country fighting this kind of inflation, and millions of people quitting their jobs, millions of people who've lost their jobs, 80% of this country living paycheck to paycheck, please do not tell me about the housing boom. But we can talk about that later. Small business outlook tumbles to record low as tax hikes and regulation loom. this on the hedge today, but oh, this is good for the housing market, right? When small business is being decimated, when the middle class is being decimated, when inflation is running wild, the housing market should be doing just great, right? Based on what? Institutional money, investment money, refis that they count as a home sale. Everything is manipulated. Be very, very careful what you believe out there. A survey from the National Federation of Independent Business, the NFIB, shows small businesses have never been more pessimistic about the outlook for business. Owners expecting better business conditions over the next 6 months decreased 1 point to a net negative 38%. That's a 48-year record low. Wow, that's really incredible. Think about that. But that kind of gives you a barometer of where we're at and the outlook for the next 6 months. So why would the housing market be booming? But again, when you have institutional money and wealthy investment money coming in, and you're counting refis as home sales, well, you can slice and dice it and make it sound really, really nice. But the average American, the average consumer, average American is going to have a very, very difficult time right now buying a home. And they've slammed rates as low as they could. Also, to get this frenzy going with anybody that could at least afford the monthly payment, maybe they could buy a house. Technically, they couldn't really afford the house, but if we put rates down to 2.8%, maybe they can get in there and afford that house. So, I mean, we are in the twilight zone, ladies and gentlemen. This is unbelievable. And we're going to see more problems in small business because of these lawmaker mandates, tax increases, inflation, supply chain disruptions, and millions, 11.03 million job openings that cannot be filled. So this is not going to help business at all, especially small business. Homeowners are sitting on record equity. So here's how to cash out when mortgage rates are rising. This on CNBC today. By the end of this year, borrowers had a record $9.4 trillion in tappable home equity, and many people have tapped into that. And the real dangerous thing here is, and we saw this in 2008, when everybody was living like a big shot, living the dream, buying a home, and then tapping into their equity in the frenzy of 2005 and 6 and 7. When that all changed and the equity shrunk and the market corrected, these people could not even sell their homes. They were so far upside down. About a quarter, that's 24% of all first lien mortgages have an interest rate below 3%. They'll do anything to get people in a house, right? The housing market is so fake. It's so propped up with low rates. Again, institutional money, investment money, refis. But sadly enough, what we saw in 2008 will happen again, and these people are going to be wiped out. And maybe the investment, institutional money will get bailed out, but I can tell you the average homeowner is not going to get bailed out. They're going to get wiped out. And they're playing the same game that they did back in 2008. People either don't read history or they have a very, very short memory. It wasn't that long ago, but the warning signs are here all over again, flashing red. Many of these people, millions, they're gonna get wiped out. And this is gonna be another wealth transfer from housing, because you look at this, you look at the record amount of money in housing. People's wealth is in their home. And when their home goes up, they feel wealthier. And there are people now who believe they're millionaires because their $400,000 house now is nearly $1 million. So they're millionaires now. But that can change very, very quickly. It will change quickly. And people are going to, go from millionaire to nothing very, very quickly, to having a zero or negative net worth. Your house can be worth something this month, but in 2022, that number can change. 2023, it can change. But I think we're very close to the inevitable, and that is a housing burst. And this bubble, when this thing bursts, it is going to be a gigantic mess because we've never seen the bubble this big. So much wealth tied into this. So many people believing in this wealth. These are paper millionaires. This is paper wealth. And there are no guarantees that housing is going to go up every year, every year, every year. This whole thing is artificial, ladies and gentlemen. You need to understand that. The housing prices aren't going up because the economy is booming and because we have real fundamentals. Housing is going up because you have interest rates under 3% that promoted this. You have a feeding frenzy because they allow all this institutional money to come in and compete against the average consumer. You have investment money out there. You have refis. And when you watch the television, they almost make you feel like you're left out if you're not buying a home. Look at all these flipping shows, all these interior design shows, all these realtor shows, all of it just to entice you to get in the game and get into the real estate market. Don't you want to be a part of this? You can flip. Look at all the interior design. Look at all the beautiful real estate agents. I mean, this is what everybody does every day. They're buying and selling homes, and you're missing out. This is just exactly what we saw back before 2008. Another article from The Hedge, Dems to boost debt ceiling by 2.75 trillion. Another reason why you better get out of this bubble, ladies and gentlemen, and you better get proactive. I cannot emphasize this enough that you really need to get proactive. This is 2.5 trillion reasons why you are going to see massive inflation coming. It's not even here yet. It's on its way. Another 2.5 trillion reasons why. And it's another 2.5 trillion reasons why your taxes are going to go up. And it's another reason why you better own some gold. You better own hard physical assets like gold and silver. I'm personally making another order. When you think about the safest haven without any counterparty risk, it is gold, it is silver. I like gold the most. That's where my safety net is gold. And every month I'm just taking a portion of my income and putting it into gold every month. If you can't afford gold, buy some silver, buy both, diversify, make sure you're putting some cash away. But there has never been a more important time right now in the last couple of years to own precious metals. I do have a link down below, SD Bullion, check it out. I don't care. Let me be very clear to the trolls out there. I don't care if you buy gold. I don't care if you buy silver. I don't care if you go to SD Bullion or you go to one of the other big bullion dealers, if you go to the pawn shop, the jewelry shop, the coin shop. It doesn't matter to me. I really hope that all of you are protecting yourself. I'm just a person here talking out loud, thinking out loud, telling you what I'm doing, what many people in my circle are doing, and that's buying precious metals. So I don't care where you buy it from. I really don't. It doesn't matter to me if you buy it or you don't. I think that the smart money is buying gold. They're buying silver. That's why most central banks are stockpiling gold right now. This is why countries like China, Russia, India, Poland, etc., are stockpiling gold. All right, physical, not paper. Stay away from paper right now. This is no time to gamble. You need to be putting physical gold and silver away in a safe place that you can get to. Here's another thing too. This is why I'll be buying more gold this month. This debt ceiling. What's the point of even having a debt ceiling if they keep raising it? They're going to extort people with property taxes, okay? Look, just like the shakedowns you see in Chicago where they just raise property taxes, New Jersey raise property taxes. These cities are broke, so what do they go after? They go after you, the homeowner, you, the business owner, and they raise your taxes. So look, I'm going to bet against this debt. I'm going to bet against this inflation, and the only way I can see doing it is to have no debt and to have some precious metals and to have some cash put away. Yes, cash is getting eaten alive, but when these markets crash, I think you'll be happy that you do have some cash because you'll be able to jump into these markets when they're on a blue light sale. This is why the only reason I have cash put away is because I'm going to buy when the bubbles burst and when it's a very ugly, scene out there, when these markets have been absolutely mutilated, then I'll get back into these markets. Okay, I don't buy anything in a bubble. You can buy in a bubble if you like. I mean, do your heart's desire. Me personally, it's cash, gold, silver, and patience. And right now, I'm exercising patience in regards to my next property purchase and multiple purchases in these markets when they crash. So I do believe you need to have some cash put away. Lastly, I would like to just to close this article. There's only one thing that is increasing right now, and it's not your paycheck. It is debt. The national debt, people's household debt, credit card debt, student loan debt, auto debt, mortgage debt. It is increasing substantially. Okay, while most people's paycheck is not, debt is increasing, people's paychecks are not. I don't like where this is going, and this is why I prepare. This is why I make these videos, because this is going to end very badly, ladies and gentlemen. You already know this. 98% of you watching this video have already seen the movie. You know how it ends. And this is why we continue to be proactive and prepare. Two last articles I'm going to close with here. The article here titled "The New Normal." Only 42% of Americans feel optimistic about post-crisis life. Get this, 2 in 5 Americans rate their mental health as fair to poor, while more than half say the same about their sleep quality. And you know why this is? Because these people, if you're not sleeping well, your mental health is not doing well. If you're up all night worried about paying bills, people now, cars being repossessed, the creditors calling, multiple credit cards, these people now, they're going to come after you on social media now. They just passed a law where these debt collectors can come after you on social media. There is probably so much debt collection going on right now, and so many people not sleeping at night. And you know, the only way to avoid this is to never get in debt in the first place. Look, we've all made mistakes. You know, we've all, bought something we shouldn't have. We've all had credit cards and spent on things we shouldn't have. But if you continue to do this, you are digging a very, very deep hole that you're never going to get out of. And I don't care what anybody says. I do not want to be going into a recession, let alone a Great Depression with debt, because I want to take advantage of the situation. I don't want the situation to take advantage of me. And this economy is going to take advantage of people who are debt slaves, people who can't sleep at night, people who have massive anxiety, people who can't sleep. And this is going to further more health problems and health issues with people when they have massive anxiety, when they're not sleeping at night, when their mental health is fair to poor. I mean, that's nearly half of Americans. Think about that. When you go out, 2 out of 5 people rate their mental health as fair to poor. And let me remind everybody, we've talked about this before, as we come into the holiday here, into Christmas, make sure that you're reaching out to people, friends, family, relatives, because the suicide rate, talking to a couple of my friends in law enforcement, told me that the suicide rate that they're seeing is just through the roof. Bad. It's really, really bad. And so nothing is worth taking your life for. If you need help, there's places online you can go to a church, go to a family member, make sure you seek help. Right now, you might have the greatest life in the world. You got a roof over your head, you're eating, you're going to have a beautiful Christmas dinner. Remember though, there's people out there that everything looks good on the outside, but maybe it's not. If you have a suspicion, make sure you reach out to these people. Really make sure you reach out to them. And also, let's not forget the animals out there, the dogs, the cats. There's a lot of homeless people out there that we like to get out and help out. We always bring dog food to these people and make sure that their pets, are eating. Like, there's a lot of people on the streets that need help. They could use a little bit of food, maybe a little donation. Many of them have have dogs, make sure that, if you can, go drop off a 20 or 30 or 40 pound bag of dog food, at some homeless camp or an encampment in your area. You drive by them every day. So, what's it take? It's like $25 to go to a store, even if you got to go to a Walmart, whatever, and go spend $25. I think you can get like a 40 pound bag of food and go drop it off at an encampment. These people will be so thankful so they can feed their animals. So we're going to get out there hopefully in the next few weeks and make sure we can help some people out with some food and water and some dog food also. But if you see people in need, reach out a little bit. You've probably been blessed. If you're watching this video, you got a roof over your head, you're eating, you've been blessed. Is it really going to hurt if you give somebody $5 or $10, or if you feed their dog, or you buy somebody some food? So, this is a time we really need to be giving back if we can, and make sure we're checking on people who mentally are fair or poor, because we do not want to see bad things happen to these people. Nothing is worth taking your life. You can always reach out for help. Last article here, meds not needed for anxiety sufferers. Exercise proves to be a powerfully effective treatment. Look, I'm going to tell you, my anxiety over the past year has really acted up with everything going on. I'm going to admit it to you. I'm going to admit it. My anxiety has really gone through the roof with everything happening. I'm very, very worried. I'm concerned about the future of where all this is going. This economy really, really concerns me, because look, we could talk about this affecting you, that affecting you, or this affects you. This economy affects everybody. It affects everybody. You, me, everybody. And many of you have reached out. You're very, very concerned. You're worried. You have kids, businesses, jobs. I mean, there's a lot of anxiety out there. We've all suffered from it. And I got to tell you, I'm hitting the gym 3 days a week, sometimes four days a week. I really need to hit it 4 days a week. But as I close this video, look, whatever you can do to physically improve yourself, do it, because it really does help with the stress. There's nobody out there that doesn't have stress or some anxiety. Let's admit it. And so it can be managed. You don't need drugs. You don't need pharmaceuticals. Get to the gym a couple days a week. Clean up the diet a little bit. Go for the walk. Go for a hike. Go for a bike ride. Just get out of the house. Get off the couch, and just keep it moving. It is going to prevent so many bad things in your life, and it is really going to clear your head, help with the anxiety, help with the stress. There's nothing negative in regards to exercising and eating better. It's going to help you in so many ways, and it's going to help you sleep better. So get the debts paid off, get outside or get to the gym and get it moving, because when you're in a little bit better physical shape and you're in a little bit better financial shape, you're going to sleep a lot better. I promise you. I'm going to leave it there. God bless all of you. Share this video. Give it a thumbs up. Subscribe. And I will talk with all of you very, very soon.